My fire chief has got to go. Hey, this is Billy Goldfeder answering some questions for you as part of our What's Your Problem series hosted by Fire Rescue One in Lexington. And here's today's question. My chief has got to go. He is totally out of the loop on tactics that we should be using on the fire ground, and he has no intention of learning. He loves the title as fire chief and gets fired up about some of the bureaucratic stuff. Also, he can have his face on the local news. But when push comes to shove, he just doesn't get it anymore. I'm a training chief and eager to advance the department. What do we do? Wow, that's not the easiest question in the world, but there are some good things that you can do to help the chief get it. I was in a meeting this week with a number of fire chiefs, and I reminded them, it's not always your opinion. It's not your opinion on tactics, because your tactics are based upon only what you've learned. So if you don't take time to take other classes, go to seminars, go to conferences, things like that, then you only know what you know from the period of time that you started, right? And a lot of fire chiefs tend to make decisions that way. Oh, I'm a chief now, I don't need to go to training. I don't need to, that's not the case. This job has never evolved more than it is in the last couple of years with fire behavior studies and flow path studies and the combustibles we have inside of buildings, things like that. So when you're the chief, you've got to keep up. It's like a football coach. Have you ever seen a pro football coach not go to practice? Absolutely not. They're always at practice. They're part of the team, right? And that's what you need to do. You need to get your fire chief engaged. So how do you do that? Subtly, by sharing articles, bad things that have happened, close calls, tragic events, and identify in those where the fact that the leadership of the organization is not kept up on best practices is a good way to do it. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with your chief. I have a relationship, and I'm lucky. And again, I'm different. I'm older, and I got more time and things like that. But there are some ways to say, hey, chief, did you see this? Did you see what happened here? Listen, would you mind if I start running some training on this? Would you mind if we start running some training on that? And what your focus needs to be, and this is going to be your challenge, this is not about you. This is not about your ego. This is not about you looking good. This is about you making the chief look good, where the chief is not threatened by the changes that you're trying to make. We all fear dark rooms. Why? Because we don't know what's in the dark room. Same thing with situations like this. If you have not kept up with your training, if you're not regularly engaged, okay, whether it's your responsibilities as a command officer or whatever, then you have a dark room when a firefighter comes in and says, hey, did you read about this UL study? Hey, did you read about this flow path issue? Well, if you haven't, then you're fearful of it. And that's a very normal ego kind of thing, right? Especially for chiefs. So to the chiefs listening, take time to learn what's going on. And I know you're busy with budgets and everything else, but you got to figure out some time to make sure you're keeping up with what's needed out there. Or if you're not comfortable or you don't have the time, at least allow your officers to move the organization forward in a manner in which the people you're serving are best protected, the firefighters are best protected, and you as the fire chief look the best you can. We could cover a whole lot more on this question. Maybe we'll in the future. But hopefully my thoughts are some assistance to you. That you share the information, you put some emails out, offer the chief some information. Hey, chief, did you see this article? But never give up. Remember, the boss is the boss. And you do have a responsibility to do as much as you can to help keep the boss in a position where they're in the best way of taking care of the personnel of your organization, they're aware of operations, and to not be threatened by the organization moving forward, even where they may not be involved. And I want to add one more quick thing. When I talk about chiefs being involved in training, I am not talking about chiefs going out when you're stretching a hose line. Chief, forget the hose line. You know how to stretch a hose line. What we need the chiefs to be focusing on is command, control, accountability, fireground leadership. But to do that, attending the training when they're stretching a hose, attending a training while they're stretching throwing a ladder is of great value to any fire chief. But you don't need to throw the ladder. You don't need to throw the hose. What you need to do, let's say you've got 3 or 4 companies out there training. Let's make this a realistic drill. Chief, you take command and now lead that drill as you would on the fire ground. Anyway, I hope that's been of some help to you. I've met few chiefs that are not willing to learn, as long as you forget about your ego and remember about their ego. Kind of a big deal. Listen, email Fire Rescue One with your questions, just like this one. I'm glad to give you my opinion. I'm glad to insert sort of some of the more common or best practices, the things that are going on and some of the changes we're experiencing. I guarantee you I'll be able to help you. If I can't, I know people who can, and I'll get a hold of them to help get this answer together. Thanks so much for joining us.